Just like that, it's Thursday night, and you know what that means. It's party time with the Video Bros. I'm Bobby Munson, the man beside me. You can all say it with me. It's Papa Smokes. Papa Smokes, how the hell are you doing, brother?
Damn, that was a long one, Munson. Your voice is doing great tonight.
I'm getting it all just geared up. You know, I got to get it ready because we got a big show this Saturday, and maybe, just maybe, I might get to live that dream one more time and be the ring announcer on that night.
Munson, you'll have to have your little concoction of honey and tea and a few other things. Keep that crystal clear voice of yours ready.
I got my soda water here to make things a little easier on me. You know, I like my good old soda water. It's really good stuff. But yeah, how do you?
I'm having a form of soda water here too, or it's pretty bubbly anyway.
That's a Saskatchewan champagne right there, the Pop Smokes.
Got that right.
Saying hello to our good friends in the chat. We got the Ring Respect Radio YouTube Trivia Champion of the world, Brian. How are you doing? I know you didn't have Brian in the name, but we know who you are, champ. The unchallenged and undisputed has arrived. Let's go. All right, good to see you.
That's awesome.
And I hope you're ready for next Thursday night, because next Thursday night, it is all on the line as we bring you What the Fuck Do We Know About Wrestling Pump Trivia Night number 2.
Munson, the fans are ready for this. The Ring Respect Nation is ready for this. I think we're going to hear from it tonight already in Brian's username there. I mean, that's a troll. That's kicking things off right here. I know I have been, and I know that the boys watching here, boys and girls, have been looking forward to the next trivia night. What a great idea that was to start it off. I'm glad I thought of that, Munson.
You're a genius, Papa Smokes. Absolute genius. Yes, it's going to be the second opportunity to have that. Of course, we are doing our Prairie Pro Wrestling hype show here tonight for you guys. But at the end of the month, the last Thursday of the month, I believe it's the 31st, we are going to give you the MLW Fury Road Go Home show here on Ring Respect Radio. We're going to catch you up on all things MLW as we head into Fury Road and our watch along. But we're still saying hi to those friends in the chat. We got to move on over to Bobby Petito joining us week after week. Glad to see you as always. It's just not a party until Bobby's up in the house. WXO defends the MLW Featherweight Championship against Paris Van Dale on MLW Fusion today. I saw that was happening there. Can't wait to check that one out. Hope you enjoyed that match, Bobby. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say spoiler free on this one. Please don't let me know who won that one. I have a feeling I'm pretty solidly knowing who won this one, but let's just keep it no spoilers tonight, because I'm going to watch it right after we're done here. So.
Well, it seems like Delmy's a fighting champion. Isn't this about her third title defense, and she only has held it officially for a month or something like that?
Well, yeah, because she's been off in Germany defending that thing as well, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's kicking ass and taking names.
I like it.
Good. Yeah, you rep the belt when you're the champion. That's what it comes down to. And speaking about representing, we got a champion up in the house. It's our good friend, JJ Josh Joseph, the voice of
Hey, Josh.
my Canuck Brothers. How goes it? It goes fantastic, especially now that you're here joining us. Everybody make sure to check out the work of our good friend Josh Joseph there. Wonderful podcast, A Moment with Josh Joseph. Also, a lot of the work that he does as a commentator and all those wonderful things, the other streams that he does. Josh is basically my doppelganger from the U.S. I swear, we're two peas in a pod right there. But we got a good friend here, someone who does a lot of great work here for us at our local establishment, kicking ass all the time, and a former guest here on Ring Respect Radio, and hopefully going to join us again soon, and maybe join us on that watch-along. Ed Fries is up in the house. Ed, how are you doing this evening? Glad to see you, my friend.
Hey, Ed.
And then Josh, hold on here. I'm reading his next... I'm going to have to pass putting that one on the screen, Josh, buddy. I'm hearing you. I'm acknowledging you. But I'm trying my best to...
What, have we got X-rated material happening here already?
No,
or
it's
what's
not
going
X-rated.
on?
No. It's not that. It's a good kind of a funny-ish joke, but we'll just leave it off the screen for this sake, okay? We got, hold on here. Ed saying, I shall be 2-time trivia champion. So Ed's going to down. Ed's going to try to get it up in that battle there next Thursday night. I identify as a turtle, Pop Smokes. Thank you. Which one, though? Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, Donatello. They're all just excellent.
Yeah, Raph's the coolest one, though. Raph's kind of the outsider, the loner.
He really is. Fantastic in that new movie, by the way. Bobby saying the Becca did show up after the match. Well, there you go. That means it's an A+ show right there, because if Becca's up in the house, it's already hot summer fun all over again. Can't wait for that match between Becca and Maki Ito coming up at MLW's Fury Road. And the winner gets that match. So, of course, Becca now inserting herself there, kind of telling me, I'm coming for you.
No, they're on a collision course, but what show will we have coming up here, Bob, where they might meet each other? Is it the War Games kind of thing that's coming up this fall
for
in
MLW?
MLW? Yeah.
Oh,
What's
the War
that?
Chamber. The War Chamber.
War Chamber.
Would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be one of the big ones coming up for sure. Definitely.
That might be the big ladies title match there, because
Hey.
they're obviously priming Becca for a shot.
Yeah, they really are, and good on them too, because now they've really got some story building within the featherweight division. It's really great to see. And you know what? Guess who's out for the evening, having a shopping adventure, but still joining us in the chat? It's our third video bro. It's Mr. Basser saying, "Hey, boys." Yeah, Basser, that's right, buddy. We are going to be seeing Basser on Saturday, of course. Basser's going to be down there at ringside at Prairie Pro Wrestling. I did extend the invite here tonight for Basser to join us on screen, being that he is the third video bro, but of course he's Papa Duties here tonight, so he's out and about, but he's always here in our hearts and always here in the chat as well too. And we got Josh throwing some shots here. He's throwing them Ed's way, saying that Ed is hiding over on the YouTube side. Yikes. Look what we got here. It's our good friend Astra Pizarro and our special guest from Ring Respect Radio last week with that fantastic job. Wow. We hit some phenomenal numbers in terms of that show. We also, especially on the short side of the shorts video, where Astra gets to really speak on behalf of women's wrestling in such a positive way. A+. Astra was an amazing guest. We've been blessed with amazing guests here on Ring Respect Radio. Pops.
That's so true. And I so enjoyed the all ladies episode that Astrid was our guest on. And I've kind of just continued on that track of watching some of those mid to late 80s ladies matches, not only from AWA, but from Japan as well. And having a great time watching that. Something I always wanted to immerse myself in, but never had yet. I'm doing it now and having a good old time.
We got Josh saying the Papa Smokes is looking like Sam Elliott in Roadhouse tonight here. USA approved. You got that Sam Elliott tone about you, Papa Smokes. That, like, you know the person that everyone looks to and listens to, because you know they're full of worldly knowledge and you just want to learn from them.
Well, that's nice, Munson. I was thinking more of, if there's a town that needs to be cleaned up of some criminals, maybe I could come in there, judge, jury, and executioner style, like Sam Elliott might.
Yeah, you know what? I've seen you when you bring out the badass side of Papa Smokes. I mean, I wouldn't want to get on your bad side, Papa Smokes. You really had some people fearing you that one night when there's some hooligans there at one of the BPW shows that you had to take care of the riffraff there.
Yeah, I'm from Manitoba, Munson. It's rough scratching out there sometimes. you don't survive if you don't get tough in a big hurry.
Papa Smokes had the older brothers to pick on him as well too, which toughened him up even quicker.
Yeah.
Ed saying to Josh that YouTube is ad free. Well, at least it is when you shell out for YouTube Premium. Oh, Ed's just with that money. The YouTube Premium. That's like. Yes, Astrid, no, it was fantastic, and we mean every word of it. And saying it was also nice to finally work with the voice Papa Smokes.
Yes.
Of course, yeah. It
for me too.
And I was great too. Oh, thank you. That's a good dig. I like that. That's well played out. I'm not responding to Ed until he comes back to the Twitch side. I've drawn my line. But hold on here. By not responding to Ed, did you not just respond to Ed essentially there, Josh? That's some Bucky McGraw level intelligence, I'm telling you.
Munson, you're like the moderator between these tribes that are at war here.
Yeah, that's right. Wait till next week. The gloves will be off officially, Bob Smoke. We got, of course, Brian coming in. That's our Ring Respect Radio YouTube trivia champion of the world. Ed is welcome in my domain, he says, but he says that now. Is he going to be saying that next week when the gold is on the line?
Yeah. You know? Yeah, there's a little bit of venom in there somewhere. There's no friends in wrestling trivia.
There really is a dig. It got pretty heated last time out. We know there's going to be that many more people going for the opportunity. Bobby saying he's looking forward to watching MLW Fury Road. Awesome, Bobby. So are we.
Me too.
Hopefully you're going to be in the chat with us while we do our MLW Fury Road watch-along tailgate party. Of course, Papa Smokes has been going on about his gourmet chef friend that is going to concoct some
Yeah.
sort of amazing meal that Papa Smokes is going to consume this time instead of the hot wings. And I have made it my solemn vow that I am introducing the Chip Buddy on screen that day just to get under the skin of my brunch buster brother Chris Parrish and maybe make Carl, a little bit again like he was on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
It was a fun time, but it's going to be even more fun. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get through the damn thing, but I'm going to be a trooper. I'm going to do it. I mean, it sounds like something I would have loved as a kid and not so much now, but hey, we're going to give it a shot because that's what we do for you here on the show. We go over and above for your entertainment. Josh versus Ed, where do I purchase a ticket? No, it's all for free, Astrid. That's the best part because I know you're already subscribed here at our local establishment, probably already subscribed over at our Video Bros Network. So you've got all that you need to get tuned in to watch Josh versus Ed. But it's not just Josh versus Ed. It's everyone for themselves in this battle royal of Twitch and YouTube and trivia and fun and wrestling and all sorts of, what do you call them, promos, in ring promos. No, they're not in ring promos, in chat promos. There we go, in chat promos.
Well, come on, Munson. This is a brand new feud of Ed versus Josh. It's already sold one ticket. Astrid said she would buy a ticket, but we got to monetize this thing somehow. Where's the Don King in you, Munson? We got to set this up.
Well, the Don King in me is just telling everybody to get the word out there. Subscribe. Tell all your friends if they think they know wrestling, if they want to believe they know wrestling and they want to walk the walk and talk the talk, that they want to be here next Thursday night with us on Ring Respect Radio for What the Fuck Do We Know About Wrestling Part 2. How was that for a promo?
And we got to get a chart in the background with the participants' names, and I think this is going to get heated. We're going to have a scorekeeper and all this stuff. I think
I'm going to have to do a lot of work that night, I believe.
Yeah, you are, Munson, but you're up for it, Munson. The rest of us will eat our hot wings and have a beer while we watch you.
It's going to be a fun time. Just like I agree, it'll be a fun time when we get to see Jay Bougie have a match, hopefully at MLW Fury Road. Or at the tapings there. Yeah, of course.
New dad.
Smokes, did you see the new Papa Bougie there in his match against Mr. Thomas on MLW?
Of course, Munson. My close friend, Mr. Thomas, sent me a link, and we chatted about it while we watched it. Great match. And that was kind of the thing. They stomped him into the gang, so to speak. He had to be able to hang with Mr. Thomas in the ring to get in there. And wow, he got his spot in the Beaumont Fight Club. Now he's looking great. I'm just loving Bougie on Twitter as well. What a good follow. He's been fighting with some guys too. Very, very interesting.
It's Jay Bougie versus, what was it, Beyond Wrestling. If you won't watch that chatter back and forth. Wow. Yeah. Ooh,
Bougie wasn't having any of that. Yeah,
not at all.
Was having none of it.
And apparently you're hired, Papa Smokes. And it says Josh Joseph here.
Hell yeah.
And then we got Brian saying he's going to compete on both sides next week and defend and unify the belts. Oh, the big talk from the champ. And Astrid's going to be the referee there. So,
okay.
Got to keep him civil, Astrid. I mean, it's difficult. I had a tough time last time, and I know we're going to have that many more people up in the house playing for this one because I'm going to make sure to advertise the hell out of it because, damn it, Papa Smoke, if I didn't get the interesting news that I'm going to have a week at home next week.
Yeah, Bob. You earned it.
Yeah, time for some catch-up as I prepare for my new venture in life. Yes, I have taken on a new job, and as of tomorrow will be my official last day. I found this out here today through my good friend Basser, who got the message that they are going to be celebrating my last day. So I'll be in my half-day mode there. I will be joining you guys in a live capacity tomorrow afternoon for some more gaming, some drunken gaming, because why not, especially on my last day.
There might be punch once. Might be punch at your boss, too. I still think you should go out that way, Munson. Give him a good blaster right in the jaw.
You know what? He was being civil with me today and being nice, I was shocked. So I was like, you know what? All right. I if he's going to go out civil, I will too, because of course the new company I'm going to is a potential customer for them. So I don't necessarily want to sever everything because I also want to pin them against the wall so that I can get really good pricing for my new company.
All right. It makes too much sense. All right.
Hold on. So Astrid does saying she might look the other way if she was to get Bill. Astrid looking to take the crooked route. Heel Astrid, you might say.
Everyone's making money now on this. I love it.
And Ed's excited about that because, of course, that's his tag team partner. So,
oh shit!
Oh man, watch out! Ed might have some favoritism going his way.
Now Astrid is a special referee. Yeah.
Yes, time to celebrate. Yes, I am celebrating. That's why we haven't even got into talking about what we're talking about tonight. We're having fun. Might as well have a little bit of fun with you guys before we even start talking about the Prairie Pro Wrestling show this Saturday. Friday Night Gaming, Josh. Again, Friday Night Gaming comes down to two factors. First factor is that I'm still awake late enough to do late night gaming. And the other factor is I do have date night with the wife usually on a Friday. So until she's ready to kind of call it a night, that's when I decide to do late night gaming usually, because I'm one of those people. I'm wired all the time. I don't sleep very much. So I usually can make it unless that's got to me a little bit too much throughout the day, which it might. We'll see. My intent is yes. So be on the lookout for it. So I'll give you that much. Do you guys think that Steph DeLander appears at MLW Fury Road? Bobby, you're speaking our language. You're definitely speaking our language. I hope so. I was hoping that she would be announced during the open draft personally, but if you're not going to do it, this would be a phenomenal way to debut Steph DeLander, especially if she came out in the assistance of Matt Cardona and then even forced Mance Warner to have to kiss the foot of Cardona at the end of this thing. This could get very interesting.
Well, that is interesting too, because Steph DeLander is the kind of lady wrestler. She's like a Rhea Ripley. You can put her into the men's program and she can handle herself physically as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not a tiny woman. She's gigantic. So she can interfere in matches. She can take bumps with the guys. So if she's hanging around with Cardona, she might only be involved in the men's program. If they decide to put her in the featherweight division, is there room for her at this time? I'm not exactly sure, because it's really looking like Becca will be the next big contender against Delmy X. So I don't know. Do you think there's room for her at this moment in the featherweights division?
Again, we don't know how long the relationship could last too. It could be for a certain amount of appearances, which they could feed special appearance opponents for her on a few cards.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I mean, it's just something to spice up the featherweight division. And yeah, Steph DeLander is an ass kicker. I mean, tough as nails. Oh. I mean, again, if you want to do intergender wrestling in MLW, I'd be okay with Steph DeLander kicking the shit out of most of the guys on that roster, because she can. Yeah. I believe she legitimately can beat the snot out of them personally.
Yeah, give her Bud Heavy. How about that one? Eh?
There we go. Oh, man. Steph DeLander squashes Bud Heavy in MLW. I love the sounds of it.
It'd be Bud's dream come true.
Yeah. Oh, I miss Bud. What a great guy.
So do I.
Yeah, Ed Norton Fight Club, leave that way. Chris Parrish is up in the house. My brother, how's it going? Just hit him with a parachute and say, "Olay, MF." Josh is saying that he's got money, Astrid. Let him know how much. Oh, trying to sway the referee. Good, interesting thing. Josh, I know, my friend, that you're heartbroken. It doesn't mean I'm saying no to doing late night gaming tomorrow. My aim is to do late night gaming tomorrow. I really want to do it. I love bringing that show to you guys. I am going to bring you Secondhand High tomorrow afternoon, of course, because why not? I'll probably play some more Zelda or something like. No, wait, no, shit. guess what comes out tomorrow? And if I have it downloaded in time, it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. Oh, that's what I'll be hitting up tomorrow.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm definitely aiming for a late night game tonight, tomorrow night now for sure, more than ever. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Is that why they just had a Texas Chainsaw Massacre match somewhere? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I saw
not a fan of the match, but fan of the game that I'm going to get to see, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, what an idea for a game. I haven't seen anything about this, so it sounds like it's up my alley.
Yeah, it's a survival game, so it's kind of like, what is it, Dead by Daylight, I believe it's called, in the Friday the 13th game that was created.
Yeah.
They used the actual layout of the original landscape and the house for the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre filming to make this game. And you actually can play as either the team of 3 killers or you can play on the team of 4 survivors in this one. It looks so cool. Again, like I said, not a fan of the match, but definitely a fan of this game coming out. I'm looking forward to being able to play it. We got Bobby mentioned, or hold on, sorry, I forgot Brian's comment. MLW said they are no longer revealing new talent on Fusion, so I guess the draft is over. Yeah, just like that. It was done like dinner. But hey, we got some interesting names for sure. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing more of O'Shea Edwards in that thing, and some of the the middleweights that they brought in to spice up the middleweight division as well too. You can't go wrong with that. Steph Delander versus Mandy Leon maybe on MLW. Yeah.
That'd be a good match.
There's a hell of a match right there. I like your thinking, Bobby. You fight for one weekend in MLW and you can be televised for 6 months. It's the MLW way, you know, Brian.
It's so true.
Yeah. As a fan, we've come accustomed to it. Paris saying the game is sponsoring AEW. Their logo was on the mat yesterday. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like the belt, they had to make a belt because why not? Everyone needs a belt. You get a belt. You get a belt. Everyone gets a belt. Why don't I get a belt?
Because you don't deserve one, Munson. You got to defeat someone. You got to beat someone at something. You can't be like the guy at the show that just carries it in. Like the golden winged WWF belt, like the one that Hulk Hogan had, you know? Like, Jesus.
Oh, we got one of those at PPW, don't we? But hey, we love him. He's a great dude.
Yeah, we do.
Out and supporting all the time.
And Sheik Akbar Shabazz gives him a hard time about that belt every time he walks by you. He says, I should take that belt from you. He grabbed it from him once.
Well, no, he didn't just grab it from him. Last time at the show, Sheik actually took the belt in the middle of our ring and he stuck it right down the back of his pants and wiped himself with that belt. And poor Basser had to collect this guy's poor, freshly ass-wiped belt and hand it on over to this poor guy.
The Sheik's the best, eh?
Oh, Sheik is fantastic. Love that guy. Buttons has a belt because Bobby can't beat them. Well, I've beaten the Buttons tonight, haven't I? So, yeah, we got Prairie Pro Wrestling coming at you guys this Saturday night. It's August the 19th here in Saskatoon. And big announcement, Papa Smokes. We've got a very special guest. You know that we already mentioned that Taryn from Accounting is making her debut. We'll talk about that. But Amir Jordan, who is going through a Canadian tour at the moment, former NXT UK competitor and world-traveled superstar, is going to be wrestling here at Prairie Pro Wrestling this Saturday night. Not sure who will be the opponent just yet, but damn, this is awesome. This is our first world-traveled, kind of like outside of our territory wrestler that is going to be wrestling in Prairie Pro Wrestling.
Yeah, this is really exciting. We got kind of a name guy, a former WWE guy coming around to Saskatoon. We don't see too many special guests too often, like you mentioned. This is the first, just a kind of name guy that we've had from one of the big companies that's come in to do a show. And how tremendously exciting. Not only Taryn from Accounting, but Amir Jordan as well. And the fans are in for a treat. We're in for a treat. This is going to be awesome. Not to mention the rest of this card, quite strong, including rematches from last time. A World Heavyweight Championship match, Sheik Akbar Shabazz versus Tony Novak. but also the rubber match of Michael Allen Richard Clark versus Levi Knight. 2 out of 3 falls for all the marbles. We saw the last 2 matches of these two got pretty chippy, and there was some bad blood and bad intentions going on in those matches. Can't wait to see the intensity boil over in that one. Not to mention special guests. Not to mention, I want to bring up at some point the rookies that are coming up out of the Prairie Pro Wrestling Academy. And man, I'm totally pumped for this card, Munson, because we're kind of like showing the best of what this company can do on several different levels.
Yeah, not only that, this is kind of our build up to our big night of the year. And we call it our big night of the year. That we usually go over and above and have a little bit more fun with the Halloween show, which last year was called Ring of Horrors. I'm not sure if this is going to be some variation of that, maybe Ring of Horrors 2 with a cool name behind it, like it's a horror film. Whatever it is, we're going to jazz it up. You're going to see Brian's going to be wondering why it's Halloween at Christmas time again on YouTube. So, that puzzlement will be all there for him. But it's going to be a fun night, of course. Again, I'm sure the gimmick battle royal will return itself that night, as the boys really love putting that on. Boys and gals, it'll probably be this time around as well, too, which will be great to see. It's going to be awesome when we get to the Halloween show. But this is everything's brewing. Everything's getting to something big right now. And again, Sheik has been holding that belt for a long time. And yes, Amir Jordan, you watched him on NXT UK, Bobby, and we're very excited not only to be getting to work with him there at the show, but the fact that Pop Smokes and I are going to get the honor of calling one of his matches on YouTube once we get that out for you guys. It's really awesome anytime we get these opportunities to call matches, not only from the people in our area, because they are world traveled and very, very much out there amongst all the big names all the time, but these are people coming into our area that are on tour. So it's nice to get that fresh face in and be able to call something different that they bring to the table. And it's a true honor for us every time. Like, we got Cody Rhodes, we had Jeff Cobb. This will be our third crack at doing something like this.
I guess so, but always exciting. And like you say, it's an honor, and it's fun for us as well as the fans, because they get to see someone new, someone with a different move set, different set of timing, someone that hasn't been trained around here and hasn't been wrestling the similar roster of some of the other people in Western Canadian wrestling. He's been all over the place, including overseas and stuff. So his style is seasoned in a way that's different than some of the wrestlers locally around here. And it'll just be a breath of fresh air to see a new guy come in here, as well as a new girl, Taryn from accounting. But some people that are different and have different ideas and just bring a different energy to the show. It's always fun for us as commentators too. Got to figure out somebody else's move set too, right, Munson?
That's right. We are going to have to do that. And again, you mentioned Taryn from accounting, and we mentioned this before previously on the show. We know that there has been a link in the past in other companies throughout Western Canada. Taryn from accounting has been very closely associated to the Clandestine Society, the Rhinestone Cowboy, and Michael Richard Blaze, who have been tearing it up on the tag scene for us in Prairie Pro Wrestling. And we have been debating, could there be that formation starting to happen as they start to bring in more of their own? And we talked about it in calling the match that's coming out this Saturday. It almost appears like Michael Richard Blaze could be developing an army behind him. He is trying to train some of the best fresh faces here in Western Canada in order to put them forth and be able to conquer and take the gold from all the different various companies here.
Yeah, I think your theory holds a lot of weight, Munson, because can you imagine all the wrestlers around the Prairie provinces here in Canada, all the wrestlers that Michael Richard Blaze has helped to train, helped to get booked, helped to along in their career, mentally, physically, style-wise, in-ring, promos, all the people that he's helped. Can you imagine if they all came behind him? It would be an army, and he doesn't need a whole army to run a roughshod over a wrestling company. He could do it with a faction of 3-4 people. And I can absolutely see that. He already looks like a cult leader coming out with his with his Bible and everything, and his sinister kind of aspect that he comes out with. I could see this happening easily, that the clandestine society, very secretive, but they're very devout in who they follow. And obviously their leader is Michael Richard Blaze.
It really is, and it'd be interesting to see how that all pans out. As Brian coming in, is Uncle Phil fighting? Well, it's just not a PPW show without good old Uncle Phil. And hey, on the subject of Uncle Phil, I've got a bone to pick with another local company here, Pop Smokes. I'm not going to crap on them because I had a lot of fun. Basser and I recently went out to the BEW show in here. And we had a great time, by the way. First of all, I mean, it's fantastic to see Bobby Sharp again. Cap on Hees was there. A lot of people that we know. There was some of our own PPW people, not only wrestlers, but one of our great PPW referees was actually a referee on the night there at BEW. So great to see him get an opportunity outside of Prairie Pro Wrestling as well, too. Again, it's on the outskirts of Saskatoon, so we're all good. But it was interesting because they chose to have a match where it was Tony Novak teaming up with Tyler Adams. And I don't know the name of Phil's partner, but Phil was on the other side of the ring. And Phil didn't want to be so Uncle Phil anymore. Phil was not shaking the hands of the kids at ringside. He didn't even want to shake my hand, damn it. I'm like, I was a little heartbroken that this was happening. I'm like, I'm like, and Basser and I had decided we ain't having this. You don't change Uncle Phil on us. So we were cheering for Phil every time he was in the ring, no matter who he was up against. And of course, we're out for a smoke and everything at intermission. We're standing outside. Tyler Adams comes out and he goes, "You guys were cheering for Phil. He was, he's the bad guy, right?" And we're like, No, you don't understand. We know Phil.
We love Phil.
Never the bad guy, dude. I don't care who you are. Phil's never the bad guy. His partner was Don Vito. Was it? I don't know. I don't know who the partner was, to be honest with you, Josh, at all. That is crazy. Yeah, it's funny when you see people that you work with and you know for so long and they portray a certain gimmick almost everywhere, and then all of a sudden they're doing something different somewhere else. And I mean, it's great. It was great to see a different side of Phil because I know how capable he is and everything, but it's just, you're so used to that Uncle Phil that everybody loves. I mean, there's a reason we call him Saskatoon's favorite wrestler, because they love the hell out of him. And I'm seeing more and more that Phil is getting bookings all over the place. Like, his energy is just connecting with audiences all across Western Canada, and everybody's starting to get behind Uncle Phil Deadly.
For sure. And I mean, can you imagine what Uncle Phil Deadly would have to do in a PPW ring to get booed? Can you imagine the brutal, evil act he would have to commit to get those fans to turn on? I don't think there's anything he could do. I mean, I'm not going to suggest a bunch of gross things that he could do, but I don't think any of it would matter anyway. I mean, those fans love Phil.
Yeah.
Just like we do, and we know him from behind the curtain a little bit too. Such a nice guy, such a great guy, such an interesting dude, and so into wrestling. So, I mean, you can't not like Phil. I don't know about this other company, what they're thinking. I think I get the sense that Phil probably took a look at his payout sheet, and that's why he was grumpy in the ring.
No, I think Phil just wants to expand and be able to do different things, and it's an opportunity to try something else. Plus, I mean, his partner was clearly a heel as well too. So, I mean, that was the direction that they took. And it's hard to go with a heel Tony Novak, and Tyler Adams really is. He is another version. He's very much like Tony Novak. There's a reason they choose to partner the two of them up together. So, yeah, I can see why it went that way. Of course, Tony is his partner, definitely. Tyler, rev up the crowd. Plus, Tyler's the hometown boy. He's from Warman, so it's in Warman. It's kind of hard to make him the heel when a lot of people are there to see him. Of course, Basser and I might have said otherwise, but because even the little kid dressed like Sting beside us was like, "Why are you guys booing Tyler? Why are you cheering for the bad guy?" He goes to us. It's like, "Sorry, kid. Like that's our boy right there. Like, I mean, we have to forgive him for his evil ways tonight because he's such a good dude otherwise." To answer Bobby's question, though, yes, I would like to see pretty much anyone from PPW wrestle at MLW, but
Oh,
Uncle Phil, especially, I think he would bring such a different energy to the audience and stuff like that too. I believe that Phil could connect with the MLW crowd.
I think so too. Phil's charisma is organic. It comes from within. He's not playing a role, like he's into it. Phil's so happy to be a wrestler that I think the fans just feel that joy from him and just reverberate it back and forth between the ring throughout the show. It's really something to be at ringside.
And I'll tell you, like, I bumped into Phil and talked with him outside of Prairie Pro Wrestling before. Phil is Phil. He's just that high energy, happy, smiling, good, awesome dude. And I always am secretly kind of rooting for him a bit, Pop Smokes. Every time I see him in that ring, I'm always hoping for the best because you know what? You want the best for good people. And that's what Phil is. He's good people. Now, Brian seems to have a different opinion. He tends to love someone that you love quite a bit there, Pop Smokes. And I'm not going to take away this guy's wrestling accomplishments, but when I say good people, El Asesino, not necessarily good people. He's more like kick the face of good people in. But Brian's saying, screw that promotion. Send El Asesino over there to shut them down. Man, if El Asesino was over in that promotion, all those poor little children at ringside would be very, very upset.
Oh, man. And you know where I'd like to see Asesino is in one of those Tijuana tapings where we both commented that we like the ringside action. Everyone's got a beer. Everyone's pouring beer on the wrestlers and stuff. It's a wild crowd. Can you imagine El Asesino down there in his home country, of course, but he would have a special relationship with the fans at ringside there too.
If he went down for somewhere like AAA or something like that, good God, he might not get out of there alive, or he'd have to watch himself, because I guarantee you, if anyone could rile that crowd up and piss them off, it would be El Asesino.
And just speaking of which, he just reminded me, Munson, just this past weekend was Triple Mania, speaking of AAA Lucha, and of course they're WrestleMania, and it's in the huge soccer stadium. I don't know how many damn fans they get there, but lots. But did you see any of the Sam Adonis was in one of the main events with against the Psycho Clown, who is wildly popular in Mexico City and in the country of Mexico. And boy, did Adonis get some heat, more heat than he bargained for, I think. And Mexican fans, they're a little more old school. They're like the Tennessee fans from the 60s and 70s. They're fully invested in it and willing to get wild and violent sometimes with the wrestlers. And Jesus, it looked like Adonis barely made it back to the dressing room after his match.
Yeah, you know what? Adonis has been doing that for a while, from what I understand. He knows how to get heat there in Mexico. But then I did happen to catch the ending of that because I had heard all about it and everything, and just definitely not my thing, so to speak. I'm not a deathmatch person, and watching light tubes get smashed into people. I detest light tubes in professional wrestling. I will stand by that till the day I die. I don't like to see it. I know the impact those things can have, and I just think it's an unnecessary risk that adds nothing to a matchup.
Oh, I agree 100%. But from a working perspective, I'm just loving following Sam Adonis these days because he's working the fans in AAA so bad and learning Spanish so that he can insult them better and they'll understand him better. That's classic heel work. He's the gringo there. They don't like him because he's a gringo. You can't build heat like that, racially based heat up here anymore. But in Mexico, they're still doing stuff like that. And he's getting over massively as a heel.
We got Brian mentioning, oh my, I never thought about El Asesino and Tijuana. I now have a new wish list match, him versus anyone.
It'd be him versus the fans who would be a big part of it, I think.
Oh my, it really would end up being like, you would have to put some absolute clean-cut baby face, someone who's universally loved by that crowd, because there's one thing they're not going to do, and that's show any admiration for El Asesino, and he's going to show them worse levels of respect right back at each and every one of them.
There it is. Okay, put another dream match on the list.
Yeah, there you go. El Asesino in Tijuana is another dream match. But that's after his tour down to Brian's area and, putting on a show there. So the fans down in the U.S., the El Asesino fan club, as it is, could get an opportunity to see him in a live capacity. I mean, hey, I dared to reach out to El Asesino recently. I actually sent him a message. And I'm like, hey, look, I know you and I don't exactly see eye to eye, and you probably want to, knock my head off. And he said, well, there's something we can agree on. And then I said, anyway, I just wanted to let you know that through the show that I do on Thursday nights with Bob Smokes, we have found out that we have got a El Asesino fan club going in the U.S.
Nice.
And I said, they would really love to see you live. And his response was, yeah, I bet they would. He goes, I don't really care about them at all. He goes, if I go down there, it'll really be just to destroy whatever chump they put in front of me.
Classic answer. He's cold as ice.
He really is. And Brian saying we are the International El Asesino Society. Get it correct. I didn't know there was an official name yet, man. You got to get that on a shirt.
That's got a hell of a ring to it.
It does. Bob Smokes, you get along with El Asesino a little better than I do, obviously. Maybe you should let him know the International El Asesino Society is now an official thing, and that maybe he wants to get a shirt like that made.
That'd be wonderful, and he might like to hear that because I don't think he has any fans in this local area.
No.
I don't think he has one.
Outside of yourself, Bob Smokes, I'm not sure that he is a friend of the world in the Saskatoon area at all. I have never seen somebody in this area take so much heat for everything they do and say as what El Asesino does. The fans legitimately, there's actually scary moments where some of the fans are so drunk and obnoxious that they kind of get a little too in El Asesino's face. And he's not afraid to shove back, or there was the time with the old man and the cane who tried breaking his cane over El Asesino's face the one match. People hate this guy. Legitimate heel hate this guy.
Yeah, that's so true. And you remember when we used to call matches for High Impact Wrestling in years past, El Asesino was almost always a heel, pretty much always a heel. But the fans liked to hate him in a way because he's funny. He interacted with them. He had good put downs. He was like a comedian. He was funny to the crowd. They liked to hate him. That's not the way it is now in PPW at all. They hate his guts for real. And that's not an overstatement, I don't think. He shows them no respect. He never jokes around. He never says anything lighthearted. He's all business. And some of those violent sneak attacks, man, it's wrestling. I get it. And most of our fans know what wrestling is. But looking around in that crowd, when he was slamming that chair over Colton Kelly's backs, there were people looking away. There were little kids hiding their eyes. There were some of those college girls that always come. They were looking away they didn't like that because it's violent. Yep. And he was slamming that metal chair so hard on the other man's back that, wow, it makes an impression, man. And you can say anything about El Asesino, but he is for real all the way. And he doesn't take a backward step for anybody. You know this, Munson, not only physically does he not take a backward step, but you can't argue with the guy. He just won't have it. If he will just assert his dominance over you, and he's right every time. That's the kind of guy he is. He's a silverback mountain gorilla. He's the leader of the tribe kind of thing, and he doesn't take any crap from anybody. And you look at how that's manifested in his wrestling career since the time of PPW. He's not challenging for the world title, but everybody knows he's there, and everybody's watching over their shoulder, watching their back when he's around.
See, Josh saying, tell him we love that shit here in the USA. Swing chairs, throw shit, we cheer. Now, you say this, Josh, but we here in Canada also tend to cheer for these things, just not when El Asesino does it. This guy finds a way to
Yeah.
make you hate seeing it. He makes it so disgusting. Like when he was beating on poor Son of Irish last time out, and I mean beating on
Yeah.
Son of Irish over and over and over. And the fans got to a point where it's like, enough already.
It's
Like, man,
gross.
like, and then he just sits a chair down on that rampway and he sits there and mocks them. Like, nobody was cheering for it. And yet, normally a chair shot would get a huge pop in anybody else's matchups. But when El Asesino does it, you would think the world has come to an end because, oh my God, they start booing. Mel Ball is up in the house. Mel, how are you doing?
Yo, Mel.
Glad to see you. Thanks for swinging by the Thursday night show, Triple R Ring Respect Radio, the party stream. We're talking about Prairie Pro Wrestling. Mel, very familiar with many of the faces that grace the Prairie Pro Wrestling ring. Of course, Mel's also a big fan of our champ, Sheiky, baby. Ooh, how can I know that Sheiky is supposed to be hated, but it's hard to hate somebody who has dominated the ranks of Prairie Pro Wrestling thus far, made that title look the way it has, over a year as the champion. Who knows? He might be rolling right into 2 years as champion the way it's going right now, but he does have the Tony Novak rematch coming up here. And I know there's been a lot of people that maybe weren't on board with this. They weren't on board with the first one, but never underestimate Tony. Tony has continued to get better each time. Tony, I watched it back again. He got Sheik a little off his game right off the hop in that last matchup. He really did take it to Sheik in the opening parts of that match and threw everything he had at the champion. But the champion is just that damn good. And the thing is, when he was able to pick out that sit-down pile driver, and man, if somebody can hammer somebody with a sit-down pile driver in such a quick and devastating way, Sheik made fans shocked. They thought Tony was legitimately hurt at that point, and maybe he was. Maybe he was, because I saw the looks on their faces as I was pulling that video. They were stunned. They didn't know how to react. They're standing there, hands are on their heads. They thought Tony might be dead, Papa Smokes, because Sheik hit him that damn hard with that pile driver.
No, I did too. I was in the same boat. I thought, oh, Jesus, here we go. We're going to be carrying Tony Novak out to the parking lot here. But no, what an interesting match it was too. And you could see the game plan that Tony had when he came into this. He knew that a longer match did not favor him and would not favor his style. He knows that Sheik is in it for the long haul. He's got the experience. He's got big match experience over Tony Novak. So Novak, you knew, was going to come in kamikaze style. I'm either going to shoot out the lights or I'm going to get pinned in this match. And he came in looking to end that thing early, and it made for an exciting match because it did throw Sheik Akbar Shabazz off of his game for a little bit. Now that Tony's had a nice close-up look at the Sheik and a match with him, how will he tweak that game plan? Because I think he had a good plan going into that match. Now the execution of that plan is another matter. That's pretty difficult also. But how will he change his plan? How will he go about pinning the Sheik, a guy that refuses to be pinned?
Yeah. And we got Brian mentioning the Sheik is becoming the Hammerstone of PPW. Time to belt someone else. See, the thing is that Hammerstone was the babyface and the fans turned on him in the end. Sheik's never tried to make the fans adore him for his championship run. He is doing it the old school way about having to pin his shoulders to the mat, and not one person has been able to do it yet. He has managed to slink by, whether DQs were involved, countouts were involved. It doesn't matter to Sheik as long as the belt stays firmly with him. And again, while I firmly believe that Tony is going to give it everything he has, Sheik has just been on a whole other level right now, and it is hard to wrap your head around Tony overcoming him. But again, all it takes is one moment, one time that Sheik takes his eye off the prize and Tony capitalizes, and maybe that title will change. Maybe Tony Novak will do what everybody else is doubting in their minds and overcome the unbeatable champ and walk away with the Prairie Pro Wrestling Championship.
And I feel like the title could change at any time. We've seen some of these challengers come very close with Sheik to getting the pin and taking that title. from Cannonball Kelly to Colton Kelly to Tony Novak, all the people that have to Sean Moore, all the guys that have had shots against Shabazz have been in there for a number of minutes and had their chances and had some super close calls. But once again, the Sheik has that strength, has that experience, and a championship match always favors the champion because the challenger has to beat the champion. The champion only has to get out of that match with his belt intact. He doesn't have to pin his challenger. All he has to do is get out of there with the belt intact. And I mean, we have seen some kind of salty finishes to championship matches in PPW. I don't like championship matches ending by disqualification or count out, of which we've had a couple. But I still look on Sheikh Akbar Shabazz's reign in PPW as a good one because it gave the title some stability from the instability we had trying to start that championship tournament, getting sidelined for a year by COVID, fighting our way back to having more shows to finally finishing the tournament, crowning the champion, Sheikh Akbar Shabazz. And now he's had a nice long reign. I feel like the title is cemented now as one of the big prizes in Western Canadian wrestling. And the Sheik has really supported and represented PPW quite admirably, I think.
Yes, I think so. I agree with everything you say. I do have to ask the question. I beg the question. If Tony does not manage to get the job done on Saturday, there is that possibility. Sheik walks away with the belt. Who is next? Because we've got that big October show coming up, Pop Smokes. And if you were to take a look at the landscape of Prairie Pro Wrestling as it stands, who do you believe should step up to the plate and make the attempt to try to take the crown from the champ?
Okay. By wins or losses and by general excellence in the win column, I would have to say Bucky McGraw deserves a shot.
Yeah.
Not really usually a guy that hangs around the main event, but you can't deny his success. He's got pinfall wins over almost every other wrestler in Prairie Pro Wrestling. Very few moments of defeat, if any, so far officially. And I would say he would be a good contender for the championship. On the other side, I would say that there have been other actions that would suggest that we could get the winner of Levi Knight versus Michael Allen, Richard Clark. This is now a match that's converging upon the main event and a huge feud that PPW fans have been watching over for months now. Maybe that's a good way to get a new number one contender, the winner of the rubber match coming up this Saturday.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to mention that myself. Otherwise, Pop Smokes, as Brian said, the International El Asesino Society has an answer to your question.
Yeah.
But there is many that are lining up. And again, like, say Michael Allen is the victor here this Saturday because, again, he's only lost so far in PPW 2. All Night Levi Knight. This is the rubber match. They got to win a piece. Last time out, Levi getting himself intentionally disqualified. Now the match is set at 1 apiece. This is the best 2 out of 3. Michael Allen comes out on top. We got to start talking about here he is, the guy who has only been beat once in Prairie Pro Wrestling. The only reason he didn't get to the finals of the Prairie Pro Wrestling Championship tournament was due to injury and being unable to compete to finish out the tournament. Keep it in mind, Sheik was a replacement on the night that Michael Allen could not make it. So again, there might even be that little bit of animosity in the back of the mind of Michael Allen, Richard Clark, that he was robbed of the opportunity, and that then got handed to the longest reigning champion, Sheikh Akbar Shabazz.
Oh, and we know that these guys in the locker room, they're competitive with each other. You know, the fans get one view of it the way it's presented in front of them, but they're all independent contractors. They're all independent wrestlers trying to get good paydays, trying to get good bookings, and there are rivalries amongst them. Sometimes not the rivalries that you think you would see based on how they behave on a TV show or an internet show or at your live shows. there is real competitiveness amongst these guys. So yeah, there are all kinds of little animosities and other issues that boil up. So we've seen the same thing with Michael Allen, Richard Clark, and Levi Knight. Had been doing some traveling and taking bookings together and such, but they're also competing against each other. So look at how this has been boiling up in PPW here too, and we're going to see the culmination of this 3-match series. 2 out of 3 falls. No excuses in this, right? 2 out of 3 falls.
Yep.
Though the winner is going to be the winner, and the loser is not going to have anything to say about it, or will they? But we'll see after Saturday night.
Well, Levi Knight, definitely a name on the rise there that's really made his mark in Prairie Pro Wrestling. But a couple of names that have made their mark very recently and had a couple of matches. Actually, one has had 3 matches with us. The other has had 2. I'm talking about a couple of the recent graduates of the Prairie Pro Wrestling Academy in the form of young Riley Cruz and Morris Waltz. Again, Riley Cruz has had matches with Bucky McGraw against Morris Waltz. And I believe last time, I'm trying to recall, that would have been his match with T.Y. Jackson, a returning T.Y. Jackson to Prairie Pro Wrestling. And Riley has been picking up some momentum because he came close in the match with Bucky. He did very well for himself in the first match out, but then picked up a good, clean victory over Morris Waltz and picked up a very surprising, clean victory over T.Y. Jackson at the last show as well, too. The momentum is on the side of young Riley Cruz.
Yeah, and this is one of the aspects of PPW that I'm getting so excited about is having some of the PPW Wrestling Academy graduates now coming up and having matches at our live shows, appearing on our internet show. And I mean, I think Riley Cruz is just an awesome talent. He's got size. He's got a good look. He's a metalhead. He's got the long hair. He has the cool entrance heavy metal songs, the headbanging and everything. He brings an energy to the crowd that everybody appreciates. Whether you're a heavy metal fan or not, this guy brings the power of metal with him to the ring. And it's something I like. It's something that resonates with me personally for sure. But I'm also really interested in Morris Waltz because you know that he caught my eye in that very first match he had. Yeah, there was the slap that was heard across Saskatoon. It's got to have a name like that or something because, man, did he catch every bit of that. And it just set the tone for his match. But he looks good. I don't know how to put it into words exactly, but there's something about him. He gets it. And you can see that it's in its raw form right now. As some would say, he's greener than a pepper tree, but that's okay. That stuff's going to come. All he's got to do is practice and have more matches. But you can see this guy's got something. And, you know, I talked to him in the dressing room after the show, and you could see that when we were talking about wrestling, you can see the look on his face. He's got a little fire burning inside his eyes. And I just thought, damn, look at this guy. This guy is 1,000% serious about being a wrestler and being in the business and being good at it. And I don't know what to say. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but there's a little aura around this guy. You could just absolutely see it in the look on his face that I think we just haven't even heard the last of Morris Waltz by a long shot yet. I also think he's going to make his presence known over the coming months and the next year in PPW. Everybody's going to be talking about Morris Waltz.
Oh, hell yeah. And again, like once they get the opportunity to see it on YouTube, those that were there in a live capacity, last time out, Morris Waltz took on one of our absolute top contenders, someone who has gone toe-to-toe with the champion in absolute wars in the form of Cannonball Kelly and competitive. He gave Cannonball Kelly a very strong competitive matchup that shocked the PPW nation. Just how crisp Morris Waltz had already become, how laser focused, like you said, he had become. He's honing in on something, and you can tell there is some sort of fire that is going to ignite within Morris Waltz. And when we see it ignite, we are going to see something special.
I think so too. And PPW wrestlers, I'm telling you right now, be on notice. I don't think Morris Waltz is a nice guy either. So watch for that determination and that conviction that he has, because he might just step on your fingers and climb up over into your spot too.
Or hit you with some of those devastating kicks. Bobby saying that Giselle Shaw and Deonna Purrazzo, sorry, are wrestling for New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Championship at Impact Wrestling and NJPW Multiverse United this Sunday. I believe that is out in London, if I'm not mistaken. It's out in the UK, I'm pretty sure of that. That's a great matchup in the works right there. Again, we have had the honor of well, I mean, sort of towards the start of what we were doing was when Giselle was kind of just moving on to bigger and better things. But of course, she has graced the rings here in Western Canada many times before. So, of course, a lot of people here are very good friends with Giselle. And, we nothing but respect for Giselle's work. And I'm so happy that match is happening. And that is definitely what I'm going to have to check out.
Hey, Munson, just for our viewers that are still listening that are interested, we were already talking about Uncle Phil. Do you remember that Uncle Phil had a feud against Giselle Shaw some years back in Saskatoon when High Impact Wrestling used to run the other venue out in Sutherland? They had a series of matches, 3 at least, against each other, and Phil wasn't the nice guy in those matches either.
You bet. No, he definitely wasn't. Brian, good night, sir. Thanks for popping into the show tonight. Make sure that you get nice and rested, because we don't know how long we're going to run next week. So you got to make sure the champ is ready to go all night long. Have a good night, Brian. Thanks for stopping in. Paris saying that Edge has come out and said that tomorrow night's matchup on SmackDown in Toronto is going to be the last on his current contract. And specifically said those words. Very interesting. Edge is the kind of guy that would probably say that just to get the internet stirring, because it's all about getting that internet talk. I mean, on his current contract, he might have signed a new contract or a Legends contract, or for all we know. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people want to jump the gun and be like, oh, we're going to see Edge at All In London in a week. And no, we're probably not going to see that. Sorry, guys. Sorry to burst your bubble. Maybe, but probably not.
No, I highly doubt that.
If anything, you're going to get Bill Goldberg at He'll come out to celebrate with his buddy Sting.
Bill Goldberg versus Big Bill.
Yeah. He's joining MLW, Maple Leaf Wrestling. Edge, the MLW champion, Maple Leaf Wrestling champion of the world. But either way, I mean, if tomorrow night is, I see him staying. Maybe he's just not going to wrestle. Maybe he's just, maybe he's deciding to take on a role backstage or something like that. We don't know. You know why we don't know? Because we're not Edge and we're not the people around him. So that's why we don't know. But speculation's fun. We can talk about it. It's always good. Always good to talk about what's in the news. I said watching. Okay. I don't. Interesting. I don't know. But yeah. But no, it's again, if it's his last final match that he ends up having, big kudos to Edge and everything that he's put in over the years and everything like that too. So I had no bad words to say about him, and the fact that he's going to get that opportunity in front of his hometown of Toronto, mad respect for that.
Yeah. Things are different now. Wrestlers want to be more symbolic of where they have their last match and their first match and their first championship and their home crowd and all that. I'm not used to that. Wrestlers never used to care about that kind of stuff at all.
They just cared about the money and cared about the championship gold. That's
get in, get out, get in, get paid, get out.
Yeah, that's all you needed back in the territory days. But those were the territory days, and that's a little different today, and that's okay, because you know what? Today has some good stuff too. I mean, we like both. And of course, we're going to be coming back to you guys with the trip around the territories coming very, very soon. Papa Smokes, when are we going to be taking that trip? Are we thinking maybe we start doing that September, October-ish, or are we going to go more towards the end of the year here?
No, I think it won't take long for us to get all that together. I have a little bit of planning still to do, but I think we should write out a little schedule. We'll decide what we're going to do. you and I for our research purposes so that we can be doing our reading. We'll have to, these ones will require a certain amount of reading and match watching. So if we get our schedules set out, we can know when we're going to do them and have time to prepare.
Yeah, exactly. And, send me the list of the order you'd like to do them in. We
Yeah.
were going to do 12
Yeah.
or something like that. So send me the order. We could kind of pick the dates and we'll start scheduling it. And not only that, start advertising it so that we can take that trip around the territories, get people familiarized with the wrestlers, the names, the bookers, and everything, all the big events that happened that would have shaped those particular territories.
Yeah, and the impact and legacy that still resonates from those territories today, because there are still some.
Yeah, you bet. It's going to be a fun time, Pop Smokes. Paris saying he wants his last match. Oh, wait a second.
Oh.
What are you saying there, Parrish? What are you saying there, bud? Huh? I've been pushing you a little bit.
One more time.
In multiple companies.
Yeah.
But only if they have the PPW call letters.
Yeah. Might have to be a casket match in PPW.
That could be the case. Maybe Beth Phoenix will show up on SmackDown. That'd be fine with me. Beth Phoenix is awesome. Barry saying, be nice if Edge got a full-time job somewhere, not working part-time at WWE. Needs to save a bit of money for his retirement. Edge could he could work at some sort of well-established Canadian establishment. I mean, I'm sure Tim Hortons needs some good employees. I mean, they're always looking. I was trying to think of a good Canadian establishment. I don't know what else we got. Canadian Tire. We got Canadian Tire as well too.
I don't know, commentator for the Maple Leafs.
There we go. They could use that. I mean, Edge is a good talker. I mean, at least they'd have something to make the people tune into a Maple Leafs game. Then, I said it, and I don't even know shit about hockey.
No, you were right.
Parrish, that is one gross fact, if you ask me. Haven't washed your gear since December. What's your name, Merle Graves? Maybe Edge needs to join a local establishment. Hey, there's always room for Edge here if he wants a non-paying job. That's fine by me. My vote's for yes.
What show would Edge be on?
Oh, we could give him his own. We'll teach him how to use StreamYard. We'll give him a rundown.
It's his own show.
Well,
damn it!
You can have your own show too, Pop Smokes, if you want it.
What? This is all news to me.
Well, I mean, just reach out. We'll set you up.
Well,
Papa Smokes. We told you, weren't you going to do the Papa Smokes, like, what do they call it, the ASMR hour kind of thing?
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot about that. Putting people to sleep with. I'd probably do that on the podcast as it is.
We'll call it the sleeper hold with Papa Smokes.
Nice.
Edging with Sexton Hardcastle. Had to go there, didn't you, Parrish? Had to go there. You naughty young man, you. No, but yeah, aside from that, I just want to say I hope that everybody who was able to attend in a live capacity is able to come out this Saturday. It's always good to see the PPW Nation in that
Come
sense,
on out,
folks. And we're looking forward to hanging out, to seeing you all, talking to you. Come say hi to myself, to Pop Smokes, to Basser, who will also be at ringside there as well too. Pop Smokes loves to be paid in beer, so any of the fans want to grab Pop Smokes a beer, feel free to do so on that very night. Barry saying someone on Twitch needs to do wrestling highlights with action figures for those that haven't seen the big wrestling shows. I've kind of thought that would be a funny thing before too, is to just have some like stop animation like wrestling show or something using action figures or something of the sort. That's a fantastic idea, Barry.
I could see you and Basser and the boys recreating a few of the matches.
That would be funny
in the garage there.
So get this, Pops, I haven't even told you this. So this guy who is a fan of Prairie Pro Wrestling that's coming out to the show on Saturday has a channel on YouTube, and it's got 4 videos posted so far. He specifically asked if there was anybody available in the locker room to chest chop his ass for his channel at Prairie Pro Wrestling. You'd never guess who took the immediate opportunity to go and do this, and is going to be slapping this guy harder than he's ever been slapped in his entire life. And of course, if Brian was still here, I'm sure that the International El Asesino Society would have something to say about it. Yes, El Asesino was more than happy to want to inflict violence upon a fan.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'll do it. See, I fear for this guy because guess what? Asesino is one pissed off dude. Like we were talking earlier, he is not in the right frame of mind. This is not going to be pretty. This guy doesn't know what he's getting himself into. I've been slapped by El Asesino, and I don't think he was as pissed off then as he is now. And I see this guy getting seriously hurt for his channel.
No, any of you guys that poke the bear with El Asesino are absolutely insane, in my opinion, or else you don't know what this guy is capable of. I've always known that he's got a mean streak a mile wide. I don't care what kind of saying you want to have about it. He's part professional wrestler, part Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, this is a bad dude, man. And you remember the HIW days, Munson. One of the first shows I ever went to, El Asesino was like the second match or something like that. It didn't have the experience that we know him from now. The guy walks out into the middle of the ring. They locked up, and something went wrong. He said something to Asesino. He did something. I don't know what he did. It looked like a normal lockup to us. They backed up into the corner, and El Asesino just cold cocked him. Just a right cross, smashed the guys down. No more match. It's done. 1, 2, 3. There was no match. This is the kind of temperament that El Asesino has. If he thinks you're disrespecting him or he doesn't like you in any way, he'll just knock you right out. Like, he's a bad dude, man. Yep. So any of the fans, I think, are crazy to poke at him. I think you're crazy to have poked at him, Munson. You barely got your ass out of trouble in the ring that one time.
I was fucking scared. I'm going to tell you that. Looking across the ring,
I know you were.
I was scared.
I know you were. And just don't even go there, man. And over the past years, I've seen the frustration that he's had in PPW with some of these other wrestlers coming in from other areas. He's grumpy, Munson, and he's been through some stuff in the last year, and I think he's just turning up the volume on his wrestling career. He doesn't care what happens. I don't think he fears PPW management. I don't think he has any accountability to anybody. So therefore, he's running wild. He's like the primal violent spirit in humanity that's just found an unleashing on the other wrestlers in PPW. He doesn't care. He's a sociopath.
He really is. Paris saying he would love to give out that chop to the fan there at the show. Well, come on down, Paris.
Yeah.
I mean, dude wants it done. You know where to find us this Saturday night. Bobby saying, looking forward to watching Tiara James versus Zeta Steel on MLW Fusion tapings from September the 3rd. Again, love seeing new faces there in MLW's featherweight division. Tiara James and Zeta Steel being added. That is awesome. Paris saying, chops are my version of tickles, so I'll do it. Well, I mean, I don't want to be tickled that badly to know what chops feel like anymore. It's been a while since I've taken one. It's should hopefully never happen again. But you just never know when you're poking your face around the PPW ring. Anything can happen. I do like delivering them, though. I will say I kind of grew a little bit of a bloodlust after being able to figure out how to really go and throw a good chop. And I'll tell you, as much as I don't always see eye to eye to El Asesino, I did take his advice on learning on how to chop harder and stronger. And I've been practicing over the years. So, and of course, my first poor victim happened to be Basser because he really wanted to know what it would feel like. And man, his chest looked like hamburger meat after I was done with it.
You cut him with one, Munson.
Yep.
I saw the picture. You cut his skin with one.
Yeah.
Not bad.
That's what happens when you listen to the best. And again, like I said, I might only see eye to eye, but Assassino is one of the best when he's giving out knowledge, and he's got a ton of it. He's been in the business a long ass time. Bear saying, if I don't get hit hard in a match, then I'm not engaged. Bring it on. It's the old school way. That's right. Fight.
Oh, yeah.
Fight, goddammit. It's a wrestling match. Bobby says he's familiar with Zeta Steele's work. She is heel. Awesome. Of course, they need both on both sides so that they can continue to build that division and go forward with it. Of course, we're going to be talking about that kind of stuff in full at the end of the month here on the 31st with our Fury Go Home show, our Fury Road Go Home show, mind you, going into our tailgate party. So we're hoping you guys are going to be watching along during the MLW pay-per-view, as we're going to be doing the tailgate party with ourselves and many of our other friends here. We're going to be, of course, the tailgate. There's going to be food involved. There's going to be drinks involved. There's going to be fun and laughter involved, just like it was out last time out when Chris Parrish joined us. Hopefully Parrish will be joining us again, amongst others, for this one more tailgate and drinking fun fest on the screen. It's going to be a great time. Looking forward to doing that. But Papa Smokes, we've hit that hour 20 mark. I think it's a good time for saying goodnight to our friends here. We do encourage you all to just stick around for a little bit longer, because we are going to raid out here shortly, and we want to make sure that we maximize the amount of people we are raiding out with. But in the meantime and in between time, while I get that set up for us, Papa Smokes, why don't you tell the good, wonderful people of the chat where they can find you?
All right, I can always be found in Elon Musk's free speech wonderland known as X. And I'm at smokes_Papa. You can also find me on Twitch at Papa_Smokes_. That's
where you can find my good friend Papa Smokes. And we are going to go over to our good friend Heel Kevin, because he is a great supporter of ourselves here on this program, here on all our programs on OLE. So say hello to our good friend Heel Kevin as we send you over there. If you are on the YouTube side, you will be seeing my ticker down below. That's where you can reach out to me, Bobby Munson. You're also going to be able to see me tomorrow afternoon, partying it up and celebrating with Secondhand High video gaming on stream here with you guys. Then possibly late night streaming, because again, that Texas Chainsaw Massacre game is dropping tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to bringing that to the fold. You're going to be able to see me, of course, tomorrow as well, too, in a pre-taped capacity. This is going to be a debut of a new show here at our local establishment called Got the Pod Life. Myself, the gold standard, Carl Carafel, known for Beats and Beatdowns, are doing a show all about the music we love. And because tomorrow is the 25th anniversary of Korn's third album, Follow the Leader, they are Carl's favorite band and one that tops my list as well, too. We're going to be talking all about the band Korn and their discography and what it meant to us growing up listening to their work. So tune into that, coming out tomorrow at you at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Then, of course, Sunday with my Brunch Buster brother, Chris Parrish, on Bustin' Out. And then next Thursday, as always, we'll be back here with you. Ring Respect Radio returns for What the Fuck Do We Know About Wrestling? Trip Pub Trivia Night Part 2. Bring your belts, bring your knowledge. It's going to be a fun time. In the meantime and in between time, we thank you for joining us here tonight. Have a good night. Take care, everybody, and we will see you next Thursday. Video Bros out.